Fun. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hardcore Heroes.
It's 1 over x, Sean. The differential of log x.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. That's what we do in our breaks, guys.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to know what happens when we're not live, it's differential calculus and integration. Anyway.
Library.
There is a library in town, yes.
I shall go to the library, and I will say to the librarian, "Greetings, librarian. Dost thou have services to bequeath me this day?"
I do, but I'd hope you talk like a regular person.
I do, yes. I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. I can tell by your... You're speaking Eridonian, aren't you? Eridonian common?
Well, I
Yeah.
might have picked up a bit of Dracician since living in Bonferris.
This person's Eridonian is pretty solid. Most of these these institutions that you've been visiting speak Eridonian because it's the common language, so they'll chat in it most of the time. So yeah, well, what can I do for you? What do you need?
I am looking for the location of a... Do you have any history of famous mages? Where they lived, what they studied, where they died, that kind of thing?
We used to, long time ago, but every time we get a new text with histories of famous mages, some young whippersnapper comes in and rips a few pages out and goes to try and hunt down some wizard's resting place and tries to loot their tomb and gets themselves killed. You know, it's hard to keep those sorts of texts around. The few that we have are locked up and not available for the public because of the mass amounts of vandalism that occur regarding these types of books, you know.
I'm actually here on official duty from the church and from the royal family. A friend of mine has even recently done work for the Queen. If I had royal assent, would you show me these books?
I suppose if the royal family is involved, yes.
And then I doff my cap to you, sir, and I shall be back. And I give him a nice courtly bow and
All right.
go and see Van. So I wait for Van. I wait for Van at the tavern. I'm not going to bust in on the palace.
Cool.
Yeah, I head out probably during the day. I probably spend most of the evenings in the palace.
Sure.
At some point, I'm going to ask, Malika, do you happen to know how I could get an image of this ship? I need something accurate. It doesn't need to be like a photographic perfection, but it needs to be a relatively accurate depiction.
I have no idea what it would look like.
If there's like a fragment of it I could have in my possession, although that would probably be just as hard to verify.
I headed to the library and asked about books on famous old wizards. I was hoping that maybe there'd be some indication there, like where the airship was, perhaps. You know, like this wizard studied on the wizard airship above X. But they said that those books are dangerous because people try and loot the tombs of wizards, which actually is not a bad idea.
We're not looting any. Look, if you're asking me to get royal approval here, we cannot loot the tombs of the wizards.
Yes, but if we could get royal approval to check the books to look for the location of the airship, that could be.
Yes, that is. I will go ask.
Just, I'm sure a letter or something with their seal that should do.
Yeah, I will ask this evening when I head back.
Good. And did you speak to our champions?
Oh yes, they are all. Well, two of them seem incredibly capable, rather talented fighters. One of them is a not as talented of a fighter, but he can fight, and he also knows a bit of magic.
A wizard with a sword?
Yeah, somewhat of a mix between the two.
Seems foolhardy. What points the sword when you've got a fireball?
I mean, you know, if you ever got into a melee fight, I don't know how long you would last, to be honest, Malachi.
I'm sure I'd be fine. I've fought some things in melee.
How did that go?
When we escaped from Redport, I knocked a guard clean out with my stuff.
Really?
It's a save kind, actually. It was somewhat of a foolhardy decision, probably. I saved him then, and then the first thing he did, once I dropped him off outside the city, was attack me and try and grab me. And ungrateful, that one.
Who? Oh, Kine?
Yeah, is his one of the souls that we're trying to save?
He is trapped there, along with all the others. Yeah, pretty much everyone who was dead from Shirebrook should be trapped in the Shadow Realm.
One last good deed for Kai.
We do only what we can. I will go and get royal approval as soon as I can. I suppose I could just try it right now. The odds of this are not great without it, but there's no harm in trying. Oh, and I also need to show off that tree spell. I promised I would show the gnomes.
Surely, they'd give you permission to see some old books. I can't see it being.
Oh, I'm sure I can swing that in my favor. But first, could you go get me a basin of water while I go show off this tree spell?
I mean, I look around at all of the gnomes. Can one of them not get you a basin of water? What?
I'm gonna show them the tree spell.
It's
I
not what you
don't
need
want to
cast
make
it.
one of them sit out.
Okay, sure.
And I kind of tell all the gnomes that I'm gonna go do the tree so they can come check it out if they want.
And I ask the gnomes for a bowl to fill with water.
The forest gnomes?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Like
will.
not a gnome-sized bowl. Like maybe their bath or something.
We do provide food here. We've got soup bowls. Would that work for you?
Fairly large basin, hopefully like about a foot in diameter would be good.
Oh, right. We have wash basins in the kitchen. Will one of those work for you?
Sure, as long as it's clean and we can get clear water in there.
Of course it's clean. We use it to
Perfect.
wash food.
Perfect.
Dishes, yeah.
I'll help you carry it, Gnome.
Sure,
I'll,
meet me in the kitchen. And he disappears into like a part of the bar, and you know where the kitchen is, and you can head back there, and there's like 12 gnomes in there, like moving. You know, 2 of them are on either side of a plate with a towel in between their hands, and they're like moving it back and forth like it's a saw. And there's a couple like in a sink up to their waist in water, scrubbing with large brushes. And there's 3 of them working on a soup together. Like one of them standing on the shoulders of another, stirring a pot, and another like standing nearby with some salt and like tossing it in. They all look at you as you walk in, and someone pops out from the door frame above your head, sort of like a cuckoo clock, and goes, "Over here! There's a bowl down by their feet!" And
I
points
think
to where
every time one of these gnomes like pops out of a door and says hello, I think I always like, oh my god! Every time.
So once we have the bowl, I say, Malachi, this probably won't work, but on the off chance that it does, be ready to study as much as you can about it. And I'm going to cast Reflecting Pool here, and I'm going to try and divine the location of this flying airship. I'm only informed of it, so I only have a 20% chance here. So let's find out.
Sure, let me just look at the...
Yes!
Oh,
Oh, he's done it.
oh shit.
So if it doesn't work,
Pool.
I know that it cannot work.
Okay, cause a pool of normal water. Da, 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 da.
Same rules as a crystal ball, so that's what you're going to want to look up.
Right.
My hope here is that if they do block Scrying, which they probably don't actually, because like that's part of the whole challenge of getting to it, right? Is being able to find it. So like, why would they block Scrying?
Alright,
But also, it's divine magic, so I'm hoping if they do block it, they only thought about arcane, because they're like, clerics don't give a shit about us.
let me take a look at crystal balls. I'm sure we're running it correctly, but you know, trust but verify.
Slightly informed of is a 20% chance of locating.
That's a nice spell.
Yep.
Can see over virtually any distance or into other planes of existence. Must know the subject to be viewed. Knowledge can be from personal acquaintance, possession of personal belongings, lightning, or accumulated knowledge.
So what you see, like you do get, what was I saying? What is like as if you're looking through a crystal ball, you have a view of the object you're looking at. And it's like a top-down sort of view. The airship itself, you can't really see. There's just like a shimmering sphere of reflective yellow-white light around what must be the airship. So you can't see into it, but you can see the terrain below it, I guess, if it's not a cloudy day. It is not a cloudy day. And what you see, let me bring up my map here. Let's see. You spot a mountain chain.
A mountain chain. Okay. Can you describe it?
It is a long string of mountains that runs linearly. It's not particularly wide, but it is quite long with snow-capped peaks.
So Van is going to tell Malachi to take a look and all these gnomes, and we're going to start pooling knowledge together and see if we can map this to a geographical area.
Well, can I roll a cartography check? Because I have that. I have navigation
perfect.
and cartography.
We have 10 minutes to do this, by the way, so we can watch this for a good 10 minutes.
Give me your cartography check.
Yep. Oh no, I'll roll the 1.
Uh-oh.
Any knowledge about this? And I'm looking to the forest gnomes this time.
Can I? I mean, I've got 10 minutes still. Can I
well,
roll again?
We're forest gnomes, not mountain gnomes.
That's a fair point. I don't suppose you people... I don't need much information about it, just if you can recognize the region that it's in.
Do we see any water, Neal?
No water.
No. Okay. What do the mountains...
like
Do the
this.
mountains look like they're snow-capped, or are they...
They are snow-capped, yes.
Okay.
Are they surrounded by hills on either side?
Sure. I mean, I guess all mountains are surrounded by hills, right?
Do they go out
Yeah.
for like multiple miles by the base of the mountains though? Like are there rolling hills once you, because like if you look at this one bit, is this the mountain chain toward Akuba, I think? Yeah.
It's got
There's like miles of rolling hills after you get out of the mountains.
Yeah.
Whereas there are other areas where you go right into forest or right into flatlands.
Yeah,
Like the mountains.
there aren't
Okay.
a lot of mountain chains here, right? There's 3 mountain chains in Arcadia. 4? 3?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where are the others?
Well, it's either, if you zoom out on the map, right? It's either
Yeah.
this mountain chain,
Yeah.
this mountain chain over here, or
Shiny
this one, right? And it's a long chain that
Where
is
was the last?
straight.
Where was the last one?
Right here.
Oh,
Mystria.
okay. Yeah, that's very small.
Yeah, it's a long chain, and it's straight, so it's probably not this U-shaped one. There's also not a large body of water near it, so that
Can I
means
see
it's
what
probably,
direction the sun is pointing right now?
It is noon.
Like where is the sun shining essentially? Like is there an angle to it? Like where is the sun in the sky for us? And then I could use that to kind of tell like where is this
Yeah,
I
roll me
wonder if
a
I-
d12 for how long into the day we are right now.
Okay. 12.
So it must be late in the afternoon.
Okay.
So that means the sun is in the west, shining east. Yep.
So I mostly just want to see what direction the ship is going right now.
It is headed slightly into the setting sun. So it's either going
Okay.
like north, west, or southwest.
Okay. Wait, can I not see what I should be able to see whether it's going north or southwest, right?
Yes, you should be able to tell, right? I just want
Yeah.
to make sure I'm not missing.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was going to ask is, can I make like an intelligence check or something to see if I can get a rough approximation of how fast it's going? Like
It
try
is-
and map its.
It's definitely going northwest.
Okay.
Give me an intelligence check.
I think it's 14 for me on that. That's a pass.
Yeah. It is going at a pretty good speed. Let's say, I don't know, 60 miles an hour or something.
Oh, wow. This thing is fast, Malachi. I think you're going to have to intercept it if you're going to go to it.
We think it's in this mountain range, the Draken Ridge.
Well, that's what so if we look at this, are there like multiple miles? Like, I mean, if we look at the rolling hills here, there's like 20 miles of rolling hills outside the mountain range, right?
So where the ship is, there's not 20 miles of hills.
Okay, so not the Akuban range.
Tell you what, I've been to this Draken Ridge before, you know, Van. I have, yeah.
Which one are you looking at?
Do you remember the portal on the Shadow Realm side that we used to exit?
Yes.
We were distracted at the time, given the conga line. I quieted down.
Yeah, no. I remember the room well enough. Was that in the?
It was in this mountain range, yes.
I see.
I recall. I remember doing this exact same thing, looking, trying to recall maps and working out where we were, and we were on a long mountain range. That's where we were. So,
I think if you're going to go after this, Malachi, this is going to be your journey here.
yeah,
I don't think I could. I don't think I have any way of getting to this thing right now.
you'd need to be a very,
I know you can fly.
you'd need to be a very good climber, and really, who's interested in climbing enough to watch something like that for a year and a half? Sounds silly.
Do you think you have an idea of where this is?
I think I could find it. If we think it's going northwest in the mountain range, I'm sure I could track it down. It might take me a couple of weeks to get there, to search for it, to make acquaintance with the people on there, to earn their trust. I could be gone for a while. But,
I'll head back to Bontheris with the others and get them acclimated. It sounds like we're going to have a little while before we actually get our task underway.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, I'll meet you back at Bontheris if you can escort our friends here. So I think...
One more thing, though. You said that there wasn't, 20 miles of mountains afterwards?
Correct.
Actually, one thing. So if we look at... I'm just going to zoom out here to make my life easier. We have a pretty wide view of the ground below, right? There's only one really long mountain range that I can find. What else is there, really? The only really long and straight one is this one right next to Drekis. Next to Drekis and Akuba. So, if it's in this southern one, we'd probably see, the loop, right? We'd see this little U shape.
You'd probably see the ocean and the river, or the lake. Yep.
So, do we have a rough... does it seem it seems like one of those things where we're pretty confident as to... Because would it be more likely to be right around here where there isn't 20 miles of hills going out afterwards?
Could also be up at the top, right?
Yeah, and what does the terrain look like to the sides of these mountains? Does it look kind of like that sort of harsher desert climate? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're pretty confident that it's... but not the 20-mile area, so it's probably not around here. It's heading northwest. Does it look like the mountains are continuing for a ways going to the north?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's probably somewhere in the southern range would be my guess.
But it is going 60 miles an hour, right?
Yes, so it's not going to take very long. It's going to be 2 hours before it gets out of the mountain range.
All right.
I say, Malachi, if you're gonna go for it, you might need to teleport sooner rather than later.
I'm sure I can track this thing down, but I know its surrounding area at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might just be...
It seems like we have means of scrying on it too, though we can't see it directly.
If I can... Having seen
I just don't want to send you off until I know that you have all the tools you need to find it on your own.
No, I'm aware of that, yeah. But, So we'd use Divining Pool, and then because I'd seen, the Dragon's Lair with Divining Pool, I was then able to cast Clairvoyance into the Dragon's Lair. But I haven't seen the airship, so is it not enough to be able to... I wouldn't be able to now cast Clairvoyance and see where it was.
I mean, you're looking at it through the reflecting pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's within sight, so you should be able to cast Clairvoyance on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, but in the future.
In the future, its position will have moved, right? You cast Clairvoyance on a fixed place in space and time.
Yeah, he can't target an object, can he?
Correct. So you can't Clairvoyance into a moving object.
It's going 60 miles an hour,
Yeah, it's fast.
What if it just exists above this mountain range, though? If it just goes back and forth over the mountains?
I doubt that. That's very wishful thinking.
But it is following the path of the mountains directly. Right? North.
I mean, you had 10 minutes to watch it. I'm sure those 10 minutes are up by now.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So it was cruising just above the mountains.
I mean, so does this inn have 2 stories?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you spend enough time here, I'm sure you could teleport back to this tavern safely, right, Malachi?
Yes.
So you could attempt to teleport today, and if that doesn't work, teleport back here tomorrow if you don't manage to get to it.
I don't have teleport learned today, but...
Well, that made this whole thing a little bit of a waste, didn't it? I'll try to get us permission to get into the spoil records. Yeah. And for the rest of you, I promised I'd show you the tree. And
boy, is it time? Hold on, let me get everybody. And runs in through a little door at the base of a door frame, and inside for 5-15 minutes maybe, and then a whole stream of gnomes, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, you lose count. They just all pour out and form a large circle around a grassy spot in the middle of this backyard area.
All right,
and they're all sort of bouncing up and down, chattering back and forth in Forest Gnomish, dressed identically, to a fucking T. They're Smurf identical practically.
Perfect.
Oh, this is going to be weird. All right. I use my last 4th level spell slot and cast Van Helsing's Greater Tree.
All right, and as soon as you do, they all go yippee and run at the tree, and they all like merge and meld with it.
Yeah, and then there's like, oh god, this is weird.
I think I watch
like
on
the feeling is bizarre.
It feels like bugs crawling in your skin, but at the same time, it's kind of like warm and fuzzy feeling. But then also like, what the fuck? There's a warm fuzzy bug in my skin.
Yeah, it's like almost massage like, but then it's like, oh, but this is the weirdest way to get a massage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It feels like it's pushing out from within you in certain places, and gnomes like popping out of branches and popping back in and climbing all over each other. They seem to be having a fantastic time.
Mm-hmm. I wait for everyone to have calmed down and cleared out. I can hold this for hours, so I just kind of wait till everyone's unmerged. And
you are here for hours. The bar closes early, and they all are having the time of their lives. And none of you speak Gnomish, so you can't overhear their chatter amongst themselves. But every now and then, two will like pop out of the tree and like grab each other and like talk really fast back and forth and like pop back in the tree. And it's a weird moment. And I think
it's a weird few hours, but it's the least we could do for what a great tavern they ran.
And Malachi, what do you want to do during this scene of
I watch
horror?
on in horror for the first like 30 minutes or so, dumbstruck, like not sure what I'm watching. Like it feels slightly like wrong. Like there's almost
it's almost pornographic.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I don't like it. So I think I'll leave after a while.
So I imagine like Van the tree has this like weird sensation, but it's kind of nice, but kind of weird. And he's just watching Malachi be like, oh my God. And then eventually Malachi just leaves.
Can't watch it anymore. I think about going to the library and using magic to get access to these books, but I'll wait for Van to do it the old-fashioned way.
We can skip to the next day then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I go back. I ask at the royal palace about getting permission to view the restricted records. I say that we're looking for the wizard airship because we need a means of traveling that isn't available to us anymore.
Yes. Let me.
It's good to be in with the queen.
Give me another charisma check here, Van.
Sure. That is a pass. I say I'm fine with not like it's a friend of mine who needs to search it. I'm fine with him being under supervision the whole time. That's okay. We really just need information about the airship specifically, whatever you have.
You will get a signed and sealed note that basically says allow this guy to have to access any part of the library that he needs.
Perfect.
For his journey. And it's addressed specifically to you, so you can access anything and just hand it off to him, and you're responsible for whatever happens to the texts.
Okay, I guess I'm going to the library then.
Yeah, damn it. Okay.
Yeah. I guess that's all. Does my tryst with the princess continue?
Or
was that like a one night thing, or does this continue as long as I'm staying in the palace? I'm mostly just wondering at this point.
I'd say, not to spoil things, but she will, if you announce that one of these nights is your last night, then she will meet you again on your last night.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be here for a few more days at least.
Yeah, but if you like disappear without saying I'm leaving, bye bye.
Okay.
Then she won't see you again.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So I guess we're going to the library today. Malachi and I are going to be hitting the books.
All right.
All right. Let's do it. Library time.
All right. Okay. So I show the royal seal when I get there.
Yep. And they will take you to whatever section you need.
And I'm specifically saying, like, you know this place, I assume. Do you have any records pertaining to the airship that travels above the continent?
No. We do not.
Hmm.
You know, every now and then we get a little bit of knowledge on it, or on certain topics, and we put it in a book, and find those pages are missing. I suspect it's a conspiracy of wizards to keep knowledge about them hidden, and so every time it gets jotted down somewhere, their magic wizard radar goes off, and they find it, and they steal it and ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust wizards.
No, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely right.
So how about texts on famous wizards, where they lived, what they did, where they were buried.
Sure. And you can get a nice big fat tome. Let's see. Do I have a book title for this one already? It's called The Greatest Wizards in Arcadia.
All right, so I flick to the page. I start looking through the index for Mohamda. This is the one I'd read about in Stromheim that had a staff of the Magi. Lived somewhere in Akuba a few hundred years ago.
Yep. There is definitely an article about it. It says that Mohamda was originally buried in Sandashar, but that the corpse and all things were later moved to an undisclosed location, suspected to be somewhere in the Red Desert.
Sandashar moved to Red Desert. Boom.
But the Red Desert is a huge, vast, open wasteland, and that is not really, it's like saying they got buried in Portugal. It's kind of...
Yeah, it's not so helpful.
Van is scanning through a lot of like earlier lives and looking for wizards who are known to have trained at this airship and see if there's any knowledge on it whatsoever.
Yeah, that's my next port of call.
Yeah, so I'm basically flipping through a bunch of different books and kind of keeping to their earlier sections, looking for like this exploit, like they went to the airship at the young age of 16 and so on.
Okay. Let's see if we have any references to the airship in any of these books. Yes. There is. Let me pull up my airship document right now. I need to reference some things in here. Wizard airship. Oh, hey, look, there's a whole document on it. Okay. So you do find the name of a man who... I need a name now. We're gonna call him...
Jarnavin.
Ooh, that's quite good. Neal won't take it though. He has to come up with his own names.
Tarmetrius.
It's a piece of random text nearby.
Fair enough.
Look at these bills. See if I can find any names in them.
Here, does this mug inspire you?
Hein is his name. Oh, that's beautiful. That's exactly what the forest gnomes look like. Oh my god.
Why is that off, Sean? I recognize that.
That's from RuneScape.
Okay.
His name is Hein. Hain.
Hein. Okay.
What about him?
Hein is the reference is to Hein the Transmuter, and Hein the Transmuter. Oops, nope. Wait, yeah, no. Hein, yeah. Hein the Transmuter lived to the ripe age of 75, whereupon he sacrificed his life along with 2 other wizards of note to help create a magical floating airship. He guards it to this day as some sort of undead wraith-like creature.
Oh my god.
And that is the end note on him.
What, you can fight some sort of monster to get even in there? Detect undead, is that a spell?
Did Georg ever go to the airship, out of curiosity?
Nope.
Okay.
It's never been seen in game.
Hein.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he buried?
He's not.
Because he is a wraith.
He's a wraith that haunts the airship. He made it.
Okay. In that case, Malachi, I don't think we're going to find anything else here. It seems like pretty much all knowledge on this thing is very limited. If this wizard became a wraith that haunts the airship, do you think it's possible one of the other wizards scours the continent, erasing any knowledge of it?
It's possible. Anything's possible with this lot. I mean, they made a giant flying ship, so...
What is even the purpose of this? This is just ridiculous.
I'm not sure. That's kind of why I want to go there. I'm sure there's untold knowledge there.
Agreed.
Maybe there is another way.
Tomorrow I can attempt to scry on it again. I wish there was an image of something that we could follow here. I'll attempt to scry on it again tomorrow, though. Again, the odds of success there are rather limited. And you can attempt to teleport from there and see if you can fly to it.
Yes. At 60 miles an hour, though. I'm not sure I could keep up.
You'll have to go ahead of it and fly going the other direction, I imagine. That's what I meant by you'll have to intercept it while it's on the move. I don't think you'll ever catch up to it.
Okay, we can give it a go. I mean, we can keep trying, right, until it works.
Yeah. Did I get an idea for how high up it was, Neal, when it was flying?
I think your depth perception's pretty far off at that point. It'd be like estimating the height of a cloud, you know?
Okay, so like at least probably tens of thousands of feet.
Certainly. I mean, it was above mountain peaks. So
Oh, that's true. And those are pretty tall mountains, aren't they?
yeah, tens of thousands is in the right area.
Okay.
Do you want to do that tonight, Van?
Tomorrow morning is when I can. Oh wait, no, it's a new day, isn't it? Yeah, I can attempt to scry on it today then. So whenever you have your spells ready to go right on the move, we'll attempt scrying for a few days. And as soon as we get a success, you can go on your way, and then I'll head back to Bon Theris and await your return.
All right. It's gonna be dangerous though. It's teleport somewhere.
You might want to scry ahead. I don't know, 80 miles ahead or so.
Yeah.
Scry ahead in the first place, and then find a nice leveled area. You know, try to land on a tree branch, and then if you miss, you don't go into the earth and die.
You are wise. Beyond your years, Van Helsing.
Comes with the territory.
So
Yeah,
I think
as
you have a
soon
50% chance now because you pictured it. You know, you're not
Sure.
personally
So
known.
50-50. So basically, I'm just going to do this once a day until we get a hit on it. And as long as we can figure out the geography, Malachi's going to teleport like probably 100 miles ahead, like our estimation of 100 miles ahead. And then he's going to try and get on, and I'm just going to head back to Bon Theris.
All right. Well, give us your 50-50 because it doesn't
right,
matter what
so
day this gets.
First day, you have all the spells, Nick?
Yeah, just writing them down now. Hang on.
Okay, so as soon as you're ready.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, wait. I need to
Wait.
replace Phantom Steed with Clairvoyance.
I think you're missing a spell here, buddy.
What's he
What-
missing?
I think he's missing a fly spell because otherwise he's going to teleport
He's
into
going
the
to
air.
polymorph.
Polymorph self.
He
Okay,
has to
right.
teleport onto the ground and fly up.
Yeah, that's what I have to do, yeah.
You might want to take fly, though, for an emergency, to be honest.
Yeah, because what if you have to make an emergency escape?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm worried I'm going to have to kill this Wraith, so... But, okay, sure, I'll replace Fireball with Fly.
I would
Okay.
like to see you try and kill the Wraith.
All right,
Hopefully
so-
you can just befriend the Wraith, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I don't want to fight it.
Yeah. Anyways, here's the first D100. That's just barely a fail for the first day.
Can't locate it. Nope.
Yep. So another day goes by. There we go. We get a hit.
All
Okay.
right.
So then I immediately then Clairvoyance 80 miles from that point.
Well, hold on, because it's not in the
so
mountain range anymore.
Yeah, we have to figure out
Okay.
where it is and try and get a rough idea.
Right.
So what are we seeing now?
Ocean.
You do not see ocean. You see a vast range of hills that stretch as far as the eye can see.
So something like this area up here to the northern side of the continent.
Well,
That
this
might
is-
So we have like a map with us this time, right? We came prepared with multiple
Sure.
days.
Sure.
Can I...
Do we
Well,
see
like
ocean
photography.
at any point?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, these hills look like they're pretty barren, right? Does this overhead area look pretty barren as well?
It does.
I passed my cartography check this time.
Oh,
Wonderful. You are pretty certain that it's in the middle of the Hemderkos Hills at this point in time.
okay. And then we probably went for either early morning or late in the day so that we'd have a clear angle of the sun, and we're gonna get its compass rose direction essentially, so that we
Sure.
know where it's going and we can figure out from there.
The sun is rising in the east. You're doing this in the morning. So
Sure.
the ship is heading into the sun.
Okay, so it's heading east. We're pretty sure it's in the middle. So Malachi's going to scry. I assume you're going like 100, 120 miles ahead or something like that.
All right, yeah. If I can do that, Neil, I visualize the location of the ship and then I shift 100 miles to the east. No, not 100. 100 miles too much, or?
I think 100 is good because it's going to take. You have like hours of polymorph, right?
Yeah, but this thing, if it's in the middle, it's 100 miles is like past.
It's going east, so you're going to be like. You'll probably wind up like along the coast here if you go 100 miles out, and then you can fly west to meet it.
Well, no, because if it's in the middle, then it's only 50 miles to the coast.
It's going east.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so if you go, so I guess you'd probably be closer like here then. And then you're just going to try and fly up and meet it as it's traveling.
Okay, well, I'll go for 60 miles out. And hopefully I'm looking at the Emerald Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So you can study this area carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you study? I don't know. You can definitely see it casually. Study very carefully. How long do you have to observe?
Well, if he sees it when he teleports, does that count as being studied carefully?
It's the duration's 1 round level, so I think 9 minutes to observe it.
Yeah, so if he's observing it when he teleports, does that count as being observed carefully? Because he's clairvoyancing it right now.
Oh, is that how it's going? Are you see where it is through the pool?
So we've located the thing. Now he's clairvoyancing like 100 miles ahead of it, and now he's going to teleport to that spot as he sees it. So
we'll say that's studied carefully then. That's fine. Yeah.
And then I tell him to announce before he goes because I'm going to cast rapport on him so I can give him updates because I have 30 minutes of this scrying pool.
Okay, but you still are going to have to roll a teleportation check because on a 99 or 100, you will end up low, which will be in the earth, and you will die instantly.
Well, I was going to say, is there like a tree that he can land in?
Yeah, so if there's any trees...
He's scrying like right here into this wooded area, right?
Is that where he's scrying?
Yeah, about 100 miles, because we're looking about 100 miles ahead.
No, if it's in the middle, I'm going to say like 60 miles ahead. I'm aiming for like the Emerald Coast here, like the Dusky Woods sort of thing on this coast.
I think you should go 100 miles because you have to fly up tens of thousands of feet, dude. You have to go very, very high.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah. So yeah, he's going to be like in this wooded area. So if there's a tree that he can land in, that's kind of what we're aiming for.
Well, yeah. So I'm kind of looking for weather light, actually.
The destination area is very familiar to the wizard. He has a clear mental picture due to previous proximity to and study of the area. That sounds like very familiar. If you can scry on it, I feel like it's very familiar. It's unlikely that there's any error in arriving, although the caster has no control over his facing upon arrival. La 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 la.
Yeah, so if there's like a tree or a bridge in his field of view that he can land in, that would be like the perfect shot for him.
A substantial surface must be there, whether a wooden floor, a stone floor, a natural ground, etc. Theories of strong physical or magical energies may make teleportation more hazardous or even impossible. Any low roll means instant death of the wizard in the area into which if the area into which he teleports is solid. So you still have a 1% chance of dying. I don't know if you can scry on a tree well enough to teleport on it. Like, I guess you'd have to clairvoyance the tree itself. Do you have a second clairvoyance casting you can use?
No.
Is there a bridge in his field of view? Because he is like right on a coastal area. Like, is there something right up here that he could land in?
I was reading things. Did you say you're going to do it near Weatherlight?
Yeah, near Weatherlight, please. So if Sean's right. If there's like a bridge over the water here, I could go land on the bridge.
There aren't bridges. There are ships. Ships have multiple floors.
Go for a ship. That's not a bad shout. All right. Let's do that then. I cast Polymorph Self first, though. I get that out of the way. So.
Oh, into an imp?
No, just into me, and then just so that I can shift if I need to.
Cool. Yeah. Give me your D100.
Oh, that's the wrong.
You're good.
That's good. You're good.
So I'm gonna, before he teleported, I said for him to announce, I'm gonna cast rapport on him, so that I can keep a mental connection with him. It might actually have a limit on range. Chase. Yep. No. Oh wait, no. There's a range to cast it.
Duration is 1 turn plus 1 round per level. Okay.
Yeah. So I keep a rapport with him while he's traveling here. So if the thing makes any sudden turns, I'm gonna warn him. But otherwise, he's just going to try and fly up and catch this thing.
All right. You've got 18 minutes of rapporting. You arrive on somebody's ship.
Yeah.
Let's see. How lucky of a ship did you land on? Oh, it's a merchant ship. And you appear right next to one of the sailors who's in the middle of scrubbing a deck, and all of a sudden his brush goes forward and over your shoe. And he looks up. He backs up. He's like, "What? Who are you?"
Excuse me, sir. Watch where you're going. And then I turn into a giant eagle. No, I turn into a normal bird and fly up, and then I'll do giant eagle in the sky.
He like rubs his eyes and stares at the sun for a little minute and shakes his head. And you can't hear what he's muttering, but it's definitely like, I'm just going back to Robin. Oh my god, what the? Yeah.
Probably thinks he's losing his mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so I still am worried that I'm not gonna be able to see it, but I get like 100 feet in the air and turn into a giant eagle, and then I'm gonna go up and up and up and up and up until I'm about as high up as it looked the airship was when we looked through the pool.
All right, I'm gonna need. We're gonna reduce this to a single perception check that you can search around and fly around the air. You've got a long time as polymorph, but it's a big open section of air. So give me a perception check, and on a success, you will run into it, and on a failure, you won't. We'll reduce it to this roll. Ooh!
Wait, do I get
Hold on.
plus one because of the sound of the airship, or
I was actually going to say +1 because I also am giving him up-to-date information on its directions.
It doesn't have sounds. It doesn't have engines. It sails on the wind.
Yeah.
So like if it's turning at all, I'm basically keeping him apprised of its travel and its general location. Does that help at all with this roll? Like would he get advantage or something?
If you can make me a perception check to properly gauge where it's going, I'll give you the +1.
Okay. 15
Come on.
is my perception. So just roll a 6, please.
hey, we did it. All right,
Malachi. As
So I
a
got
giant
+1.
eagle, you see a ship, a flying airship.
so it's not invisible
Nope.
when I see it.
Nope. It's pretty high up, though. You definitely couldn't see it from the ground. It'd just be too small.
Okay.
It's,
So I'm actually I know we have an hour left, but is this the kind of thing you'd want to prepare for a separate session?
oh, certainly. Yeah. We
So
probably.
we'll cut from Malachi here as he gets to the ship.
Yeah,
I
we can
think so.
cut away from me. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You can see airplanes, right? Or do you just see their contrails?
If they're, I don't know how far you could see an airplane from.
But they're also reflective, right? They're aluminum
Yeah.
sides, so they reflect light really well. I doubt you could see.
I mean, you
a
can't see the
wooden
International
ship.
Space Station even at night.
Yeah, well, the International Space Station is way high, right? What
That's
is that
true.
at, like 1,000 miles or something?
It is quite high.
It is quite large too, though. Larger than an airplane, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But it's also
I
weird shape.
definitely see where you're coming from with like you would not be able to see it naturally from the ground.
Right. It's like it's a big ship, but it's
Yeah,
wooden, so it doesn't reflect any light. So I don't
And it
think
might also be shielded from like natural gaze from the underside of it, so you can only see it if you're like roughly on level with it, and you can see the upper half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So you find it, and we're going to leave you off as you're a giant eagle flying towards the airship when 4 griffins jump off either side of the third deck down. Well, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side, and start making their way in your direction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're gonna rip your stone skin apart, dude.
What is it? Griffins without riders, or just?
Unridden griffins.
No, that's not.
They get multiple attacks per round.
3
That's
attacks
all
per
right.
round.
It's turn invisible. I'll be fine.
All right.
Hopefully.
Van, anything you want to do?
I am gonna spend my last night in the palace and let the people that we recruited know that I'm heading back to Bontheris. My companion is traveling to the flying wizard's airship as we speak, and he's hopefully going to find a means for us to get to our destination.
The multi-classed fighter wizard, his eyes go alight when you say flying airship and wizards. But he keeps his mouth shut, but you can see them like glittering with gold. He's very excited. And then you can just travel back to Bontheris with these folks. Yeah,
Hey, you might run into some fights, right?
it's possible. Let me roll some encounter checks. Let's see. Wicked on Rent to Defenden, Peaceful, Fendon to Gumpburn, Peaceful, Gumpburn to Bontheris, Peaceful as well. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I mean, they would have been able to handle whatever you guys ran into. Yeah.
Yeah. Before I go, I do ask the prince at one point what he named his daughter.
Ooh.
Christina.
I shall pray for her.
That's very pleasant. Wonderful.
Yep,
And-
good luck with the future. And I give him a bow and I make my way out.
Excellent. Don't forget your 500,000 copper.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I assume I'm probably going to hire a carriage or something to transport us back.
Okay. Yeah, you can hire a carriage. We don't have to worry about the cost. The kingdom will happily send you home the 100 miles. Pay for your journey. All right. And that is where we are going to leave it for today. I think unless Van has anything else he wants to do.
No, I just set the group up in our manor in Bontheris. We probably have guest rooms that I can supply them with.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, you have plenty of guest rooms. Jeeves is happy for the new company and new faces, and I believe you got a halfling cook, right? What was her name?
Yeah, we hired a cook. That's a great question.
We did name her. She has a name.
Chad will probably tell us something that's wrong, and we'll change her name.
Does Van level
yeah, can we
up?
do experience? Because I've done like 3 or 4 sessions now, and I haven't done experience for any of them because I haven't been thinking about it as like a continuing campaign.
Yeah, same. How far are you from level 9?
A good bit, but it has been quite a few I'm 137,000 of 225,000.
Holy shit.
So probably not going to hit level 9 unless we got a lot for our work with that airship. And what have we done since we started? We did the investigations into the Shadow Realm. We hired the cleric of Falumbra who's going to help us with
Did you
studying
say
the bowl.
you're at 130?
137.
So you just are past level 8 because level 8 is 110.
Yeah, 27,000 passed. Because I had leveled to 8 like 1 or 2 sessions before we stopped.
Right.
Oh yeah.
How the
I'm
fuck
on
is Malachi so
141.
high level?
I'm only like 60.
Oh.
Wizards have the best experience curve in the game after you get to level 5-ish.
Yeah. Okay, that's how.
I don't know why it's so good, but they do.
Doesn't
It
make any
drops
sense.
off again though in the higher levels. 'Cause
Yeah.
A level 20 cleric is only 2.7 million, and a level 20 wizard is 3.7 million.
Yeah.
So it
It's
sounds
gotta
like we
pick up
both
again.
level up when we kill the Gorgon and rescue the souls, right?
Yeah, I don't.
I'm curious how much I get here because we have done quite a bit, honestly.
Oh god.
I mean, we did kill those 2 stone giants and free the mine. That was like a kingdom.
Yeah.
quest.
All right. So let's do some math here. You killed. Let's work backwards. From today, you found the airship.
Mhm.
You blessed a child.
Yes.
You.
I slept with royalty.
You banged a princess. I don't know if that's worth any experience in for your character.
But it's worth recounting.
It's worth recounting. Yeah. So let's see. The airship.
I feel
is
like it's
probably
more than
worth-
we found it. We got him to it.
Right.
So I feel like that's a step ahead of that.
That's true.
We're about to be killed by griffins, though, so it's not massively successful.
The blessing of the child. I'll
Went really
do that
well,
one
yeah.
later. Yeah. Let's see, and then rolling back from here. That's all today's stuff.
Mhm.
Last time we played,
We killed the stone giants. We killed quite a few. We killed a couple stone giants, and then we kind of secured the mine and told them how to get rid of the others. Because we found out there were more hill or stone giants buried in, and we were like telling them be careful because they're dangerous, and we got them to like go to the wizard and get help on like dealing with the stone giants before they became a problem.
Right. Stone giants plus quest XP for that.
Plus,
Let's see. What did you do when you talked to Joris and Darf? You just chatted and stuff?
Yeah, we found out the information from Darf about how he pissed off Count Vicious and led to that whole campaign. So we did uncover some
Right.
stuff there.
Definitely. A little bit from that and that. Learned some other things here. What did we do before that?
That's when I hired the cleric of Falumbra, and we built the underside of our manor. So we built the prison for the bull. I think the cleric. And learning the information about how there's like multiple planes, how there's like 3 different attempts to create a prime material plane.
Right.
So I think the first session was mostly like information gathering and hiring on some hands that we're going to need to make this whole process work.
Okay. And then, so I calculate that is For non-individual XP, that's 26,250 each.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't get either of you near leveling.
Yeah.
How much now? 26,000.
26,250.
What about? I mean, I've done a couple of extra things as well, right?
Right. So just mark that down. Now, individual stuff. Van, you did the whole blessing of the child.
Yes, and I left my holy symbol there. That was
I think that all of that is probably worth 2k XP on its own.
Yep.
Malachi, you had an undersea adventure with some elves and shit.
I did.
Uh,
I killed some giants out in the Gumbrun Hills.
Oh, it was like one hill giant, right?
I didn't actually kill it. They were already dead, but I took credit for it.
Okay, you don't get experience for taking credit for other people's work.
I did raise it from the dead, though, and then...
You don't get plagiarism XP. I'll give you... You had a whole underwater session. So why don't you just take 2,500 for the whole of the underwater session.
Okay.
And I think that's about it.
Okay,
That seems to
so
be about
times
it.
1.1
Yeah.
plus 137,008. I'm at 168,153.
All right, I'm at 173,048.
All right.
We're getting there.
Eventually.
Really, the biggest thing I'm excited for when I get to level 9 is airwalk. I can just walk on air like it's solid ground.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Still a bitch to walk uphill, though.
Oh, yeah, no, it's still...
But airwalk is a pretty sweet ability.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
being able... It's not... I don't even think it's going to be that useful for the most part. It's just going to be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Don't die, Nick. Please
Yeah, I'll try
survive.
my best. Neal, where's the table for like flying? What are the different flying speeds being? Like, I'm trying to work out if a griffin is.
It's all in the DMG under combat aerial maneuvers. The A, B, C, D, E are the different classes. The A is like the most maneuverable class. It's like hummingbird maneuverability, while like D or whatever E, whatever the worst is like really slow. You can go maybe like 90 degrees and around.
Okay, so Griffin's a C and Eagle's a D, but the Eagle is faster. So I'm wondering if maybe I can just.
You're
So
going to try
I
and
think-
beeline into the ship.
I think C means you can do up to 180 degree turn and around, and D is like 90 degree turn or something. It's something to that effect, right? So they're going to be able to change direction and course easy, but you might be able to just outrun
What a
them.
dick of a ship. Like, the challenge is finding it sends out griffins.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll just turn invisible, I guess. It's just that it takes a round to turn into the imp.
Yeah. There's also, well, no, I shouldn't say anything. Never mind. It's fine. It's fine.
The chance that the Griffins are friendly.
I think if you just like worst case scenario, you have fly, right? So you could always like just fall, like go into free fall and cast fly on yourself if you need to like escape.
Yeah, that's possible.
I think you can get away without dying here, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
Though you might not be able to get on after all.
Okay, you said your class is E?
No, D.
D. So D creatures are somewhat slow to reach maximum speeds. They must make wide turns. Forward movement equal to at least half the movement rate is required. Turns are limited to 60 degrees in a single round. Class D creatures can only make one pass every 3 rounds. Yada, yada, yada. C creatures include most normal birds, flying magical items. Forward momentum must be maintained by moving at least half the normal movement rate, although some magical items are exempt from this. Creatures in this class can turn up to 90 degrees in a single round, and all can make one pass every 2 rounds. Gargoyles, harpies, dragons, yada yada. Leo.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But
I mean,
if
if his max speed is higher, that's the big deal because he doesn't need to maneuver very much. He's just gonna try and beeline into the ship, right?
right. But he can't cast invisibility as a bird. So
They're coming from the ship, though.
that's true. They are leaving off the ship and heading towards you, and you're heading towards them, and you're gonna meet somewhere in the middle.
I guess he might just try to turn invisible. Yeah, turn
Yeah,
into the end.
that's the better play. Are they? How far away are they?
We'll deal with that next time.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it
Cool.
next time.
Good luck. I don't think you'll need me for that session. I assume so. You can probably just one-on-one that.
Yeah, it might be a short session.
That's foreboding.
Well, everybody, this has been Hardcore Heroes episode 45 or something. I don't know. The Arcadian Other Side split made the count weird.
Oh, I'll throw up a discussion thread right now because this was a pretty big deal.
Yeah. This is the first time we've seen the airship that has been discussed for years, but never noticed. So I'm excited to delve into that.
Yep.
Cool. Any final words before we bail?
I don't think so. I'll see you on Thursday morning, Neal.
Yeah, I think so. But it's like, I don't know. Is TwitchCon this week? TwitchCon Europe?
No idea.
I don't know. There are scheduling problems all the time, so we'll sort it out. I'll try and get you a confirmation ASAP.
All right. Cool.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Wait, do you guys know what episode title we're on?
45.
45?
Titular.
What do you
I'm
wanna
fine
call
with just
us?
the number was what I was going for.
We can.
We don't know.
Place bets on next survival. There we go. Post.
Okay.
Fancy Forest Gnomes? I don't know. Maybe that's the name.
Do it.
See Morris names.
I don't know. All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Threads up.
All right,
Go talk
see you
about it.
guys.
Bye.